CNN is confirming it. Michael Cohen's a liar. When CNN is grossed out by Cohen's testimony, you know it's pretty bad. We've got Anderson Cooper, Eli Honig. We'll talk about both those gentlemen and others on CNN, all saying this was a disaster. But what's bigger than this is Michael Cohen's former lawyer came out and said that he presented tons of exculpatory evidence to the government, to Alvin Bragg. They declined to bring it, and he tells the story about what he told the grand jurors. And so we've just got ethical problems, prosecutorial misconduct, vindictive, selective prosecution riddled throughout this case. And Cohen's own lawyer, who testified at the grand jury, confirms that for us. Here is what Cooper had to say about it, and even he's saying this was pretty bad.
Minutes of court today, right before the lunch break, it was incredible. I mean, it was, Eli Honig on my program last night had talked about, on a cross-examination, lawyers want to kind of, build a box around the witness and then slam it shut. That's what Todd Blanche did to Michael Cohen. I mean, the story, that Todd Blanche just methodically went through this sequence of events of this phone conversation that Michael Cohen had testified to previously, that he had this consequential phone conversation with Donald Trump. It was a 90-second phone conversation. I believe it was October 24th was the date that was testified to in around 8 p.m. or so at night. But Todd Blanche, on his cross-examination today, looked at the transcript of text messages that Michael Cohen had received and sent before that time frame. And there had been this series, I guess, of crank calls that Michael Cohen had received. It turned out to be from some 14-year-old. There was an exchange of messages between the alleged 14-year-old. And then Michael Cohen texts Keith Schiller at like 7:50 something or 7:48 p.m. saying, hey, I've got some dope has been harassing me. I got the person's phone number. Who can I talk to? Keith Schiller texts him back saying, call me. And Michael Cohen calls Keith Schiller. This is the conversation that previously Michael Cohen had said he was calling to speak to Donald Trump to tell him he was going ahead with the Stormy Daniels arrangement and that Trump approved it, which was crucial to Michael Cohen's whole raison d'etre for being on the stand. He's the only person testifying to direct involvement by Donald Trump in the Stormy Daniels payments. But according to suddenly now Michael Cohen's refreshed memory, he now says, it was a call about this 14-year-old making crank phone calls to me, but also about the moving ahead on Stormy Daniels. Todd Blanche was incredulous, his voice cracking, his voice raising up, moving around the courtroom, speaking, saying the jury doesn't want to hear, him guessing, it wants to hear facts. It was an extraordinary cross-examination by Todd Blanche. And, Michael Cohen's, throughout the day, Michael Cohen, when cornered, when he found himself in a corner, he does have a pattern of suddenly not understanding the question that's being asked, or seemingly one could say buying time to try to figure out how he wants to answer, but he definitely suddenly starts to, have Todd Blanche repeat questions and say, I don't quite understand what you mean, I'm confused by the question. But this time, Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie, I think, to many in the room, and had to adjust suddenly his memory that he had just testified to on Tuesday. Ellie, you pointed out just right.
Weird. They put a liar on the stand and the dude lies again. Well done on Anderson Cooper explaining that. It was a nice little thing. He must be there. He was there watching the whole thing. He's like, oh gosh, it was a bloodbath. They must feel so dumb and like total idiots, but I don't think they care. They know that this is just a political cudgel. That's all it is. They don't care if, they win or lose. This is just an effort to stop Trump. And it's not working for them, as you can see. So they really bit off more than they can chew here. Here is Eli Honig. He says, wow, this is just a disaster. Never seen anything so bad.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen. I've certainly seen very effective cross-examinations of cooperating witnesses. I've seen aspects of their story cut into and called into question, but this goes to the heart of the allegation here, that phone call on October 24th, and it looks to the jury and to Anderson Cooper and Kara Scannell and Judge George Grasso, who are all in the courthouse, that was a devastating moment.
Brutal. So all of them are just saying it was bad. And there's one more from CNN, even on this round table. They're like, he's kind of an unethical piece of crap. Okay, all of these journalists are like, wait a minute. There are lawyers just walking around recording us? They're all having a panic attack. Like, wait a minute. There's recordings of us?
Blanche says, by the way, did you tell people you were recording them? And Cohen said, no, sir. And let's just be very clear, that is highly uncool.
Highly uncool. Now,
and in
I
some
agree.
states illegal.
In some states
if
illegal.
it's a one-party or if it's a two-party consent state.
So put some meat
and
on that.
ethically questionable, even if it's not illegal.
Okay.
what is happening at CNN right now? Okay, they're all abandoning the Cohen ship. They were parading him around and Stormy Daniels and this whole case for a long time, and now they're abandoning ship at the last minute. All right, come on, let's be real. What is that about? Now, here's Robert Costello, and looks like he's not going to be a witness so far in this trial because they're about to wrap their case up, and there's a good argument for that. I mean, you don't really need to present any evidence if they have no evidence. It's their burden.
You said Cohen told you, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything on Donald Trump. Now, you testified before Alvin Bragg's grand jury. Did you tell them what you told Congress yesterday?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because before I testified on a Monday before the grand jury, I gave Alvin Bragg's assistant DAs the courtesy of about an hour and a half Zoom conference where I told them all of the exculpatory material that I had that they were supposed to put before the grand jury. But when I appeared before the grand jury, they were asking me questions that, in my opinion, and I've been a federal prosecutor myself, I was deputy chief of the criminal division in the Southern District of New York. Those questions they were asking me were not going to elicit the exculpatory information that I had. So I began to expand upon my answers, and the DA's office was trying to shut me down, saying that I had finished my answer. And I told them that when I'm in the middle of answering a question, I'll decide when I finished my answer. And I asked them not to interrupt me again. But basically, they only put in a small cherry-picked group of emails. I presented maybe 200 to 300 emails and text messages to them. I had them with me, luckily, in chronological order. They put 2 or 3 into evidence. I asked them, are you going to put the rest of them into evidence? And they said no. And I said, remember, there's a court reporter there. I said, why not? They said, there's a legal issue with them. I said, what's the legal issue? And he said, hearsay. Now, first of all, hearsay is admissible in the grand jury, so that's really not an objection. But I played along with him. And I said, hearsay? Well, then pay close attention to the next 2 sentences. I said these documents were made in the regular course of business, and it was the regular course of business to make and maintain documents such as these at or about the dates indicated. Yeah. I said, now you know, and I know, but the grand jurors don't know. That makes these documents business records. And you know, and I know, but the grand jurors don't know that business records are an exception to the hearsay rule. So are you going to put the rest of the documents into evidence?
No.
And they indicated most likely no. So I simply said to the grand jurors, I said, you people should demand these documents. You should demand to see everything in chronological order, so you get a real view of what Michael Cohen was like in those days at that moment in time. I said, and then ask yourself this question: why are they trying to keep these documents from me? Well, after that, I left the grand jury. I have no idea whether they put the documents into evidence or what happened, but subsequently Donald Trump was indicted. Yeah. And you've seen the fruits of that indictment in this trial, which is a trial about something that's not a crime. When I met with Michael Cohen on the first day at the Regency Hotel when he was suicidal by his own admission, I explained to him non-disclosure agreements, NDAs as he was calling them, I said are perfectly legal, because he kept on saying, why are they trying to put me in jail for an NDA? And I explained to him, that's not why they're trying to put you in jail.
Great question, Michael.
Obviously, they think you've done other things. What are they? He denied having done anything else. I didn't do anything illegal. I'm cooperating with the special counsel. I'm cooperating with Congress. Of course, he forgot to tell us that he lied to Congress. But he was desperately seeking, according to his own words, an escape route. I want you guys to tell me how I can get out of this, because he saw these enormous legal problems coming his way. They were so bad in his mind that he was willing to kill himself. And so I kept on going back and suggesting to him, listen, Michael, if you have something truthful on Donald Trump, now is the time to cooperate. And he kept on saying over and over again, 10 to 20 times, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything on Donald Trump. I even said to him, Michael, think about this. Isn't it easier to cooperate against Donald Trump if you have truthful information than it is to kill yourself? Well, the answer is obvious. That was his moment in time, if he had something truthful. But he didn't take that. He kept on saying, I have nothing on Donald Trump. And then when we got into the discussion of the Stormy Daniels NDA, he said specifically, and I cross-examined him on this was my idea. It was his idea to take care of the NDA because he had been contacted by a lawyer for Stormy Daniels who said she was going to claim that Donald Trump had sex with her. Cohen said, I didn't believe believe the allegation, but nevertheless, it would be embarrassing to Melania. That's Michael Cohen's words.
Wow, not
he
the
said,
election.
and so I decided to take care of this myself. Now, he took out a home equity loan for $130,000 and used that, and he did tell us that he got repaid later. We didn't get into the details of that because that was not what we were focused on at the moment. We were trying to figure out what was Michael Cohen going to be charged with by the Southern District of New York. And then, as you know, ultimately, he pled guilty to 8 counts, 7 of which had nothing to do with Donald Trump.
And
then
then
after that, he attempted to cooperate by telling fibs to the U.S. Attorney's Office that Rudy Giuliani and I conspired basically to obstruct justice and tamper with a witness, the witness being Michael Cohen. With all these emails and text messages that I had, it was absolutely clear that there was no truth whatsoever to that. So the U.S. Attorney said to Michael Cohen, in order for us to investigate this, you have to waive the attorney-client privilege. And that's what he did.
Right.
And when they called me up and presented me with the waiver, I then gave them the documents they requested.
And they
I went down and I was interviewed for a couple of hours with 2 AUSAs and 2 FBI agents. At the end of that interview, everybody was laughing because I showed how ludicrous the accusation was. And they, being the Southern District of New York, never used Michael Cohen again. They didn't indict Donald Trump for anything, and they never used Michael Cohen, and they didn't give him any credit for his cooperation. That's a lesson that the Manhattan DA's office should have learned, but they haven't learned it yet.
So very, very just amazing testimony. And I think that sounds exactly right. It matches with everything else we know. Why did the SDNY look into this? Well, because they wanted to go get Trump. So Michael Cohen brought them what he thought was a silver platter to get leverage, and they think, perfect, we got our guy. They look at it, it's a joke. They know Michael Cohen's a joke. They decline this case. Alvin Bragg knows it's a joke. He declines the case. It's not until Biden's prosecutor, Matthew Colangelo, comes out and then reinstitutes this entire case. So it is a disaster. Now, we don't know if Robert Costello will be testifying. Some great questions have come up. Can we just kind of copy and paste his testimony from Congress and bring it back in against Michael Cohen? And the answer is generally on that is no, unless there's some other reason why he can't come in. But it's extrinsic evidence. So the judge, Merchan, would not allow that to come in. We want people to come into court. Really, the thesis is so that they can be subject to cross-examination, so that the government has an opportunity to respond to Costello and to say, well, isn't it true this, and this, and hit him from the other side. If you only brought in his congressional testimony, it would not be subject to cross, and so it doesn't have good reliability. We want both sides to have a fair shake at the witnesses, which is why we have hearsay problems, which is why we keep stuff out on hearsay as well. So we're going to be here continuing to cover this, of course, my friends. Cohen will be back on the stand for cross-examination on Monday. We'll be here covering it. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for inviting a friend or family member to come on over here and join us as we cover this case and many more. We got some great links down in the description below. Would love to see you come join us at watchingthewatchers.locals.com, our members-only community. We do members-only streams. We have an amazing group of extremely good-looking people over there. Watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We'll see you over there and back here on the next one.